can cross over live to Chris Mitchell, who's in Rio for us. And Chris, the USA women's relay team, what a mess that all was. They're going to rerun, but how will it work?
Yes, it was a mess, wasn't it? And when you watched it for the first time, when Allyson Felix dropped the baton, you just thought that the American women had made an almighty error. Then you watched the replays and you saw it was the Brazilian athlete, the Brazilians getting disqualified actually, who knocked it out of Allyson's hand. So they appealed. They're a big team, they're well organised, they put the appeal in straight away, they made sure that they finished the race. They put in the appeal, it was successful, and now we have a very unusual situation which I don't think has happened before. I've got people looking into this. Ed Harry, our athletics commentator, says he doesn't think it's happened before. They will run tonight, 7 p.m. local time, on their own, on the track, the American women, in order to try and set a time that is faster than the Chinese's team. Now, the Chinese qualified as 8th fastest for that relay. If the Americans beat that time, running solo tonight here in Rio, they will suddenly be back in the final. Real drama. If you combine this, and you're going to talk about this later, I know, if you combine this with the drama of the American swim team, there is an awful lot at the moment going on in that American team camp for them to deal with. But it's impressive, I think, and one must note this. You ask yourself, if it was a smaller team with less resources, would they have got the same deal from the people running the athletics? Perhaps they would have done, but the Americans very quick, very hot off the mark to make sure that their women got a second chance tonight. So very unusual scenes early tonight at the Olympic Stadium with those American women running again in the relay sprint to try and beat the Chinese team. How the Chinese feel about this, we don't know.
Yes, it will be very, very exciting to watch, won't it? Now, let's talk about the triathlon, Chris. A historic day for Alistair Brownlee, and not just for beating his brother again.
Yeah, he beats his brother all the time, although his brother, Jonathan, does beat him in training, we hear. 17-7 now, the experts tell me, and Alistair defending his title, as you say, first person to do that. In the end, it was very comfortable, to tell you the truth. He didn't have any trouble. He was out on his own for the 10K run. But let me just try and illustrate this for you, because it all starts off, the triathlon, with a 1.5K swim in this, the Atlantic Ocean. Look at it. It's rough, it's big, and it's hard. You come out of that, you've then got to go on a 42K cycle ride in the hills. 8 laps of the hills they did. You get off your bike, and then it's a 10K run. Wow. But Alistair, he came here in really, really good form. He'd won all the world marks in July, all the competitions in July, so he came here as the hot favourite. The Spaniard that might have beaten him was injured, so it was just his brother to beat. He did that, and he's champion again. I mean, it is quite remarkable. And of course, for Team GB, it's yet another athlete that's come here and defended a title.
Yeah, Chris, I definitely wouldn't want to be swimming 1.5Ks in that today, that's for sure. Let's talk about Brazil now. A big chance for them for another gold medal later in the volleyball.
Oh, my goodness me, here's a volley. I mean, you get these volleyball... Sorry about this, Alex is doing the camera for us today, and I'm moving him around all over the place, but you get these volleyball courts all along the beaches here. This one's not being used, but the one beyond is, and the one that way is. There's people playing. It's a passion here, it's a religion here, it's huge here. But since volleyball was reintroduced to the Olympics, the Brazilians have only won 1 Olympic title. Now, they're the #1 seeds. It's Allyson Cerutti and Bruno Schmidt. Bruno Schmidt, of course, a relative of Oscar Schmidt, the great Brazilian NBA basketball legend. And so there's a great sporting heritage here. And the actual arena down on Copacabana Beach is like a cauldron. And Bruno Schmidt and Allyson Cerutti have called upon the fans to make it very difficult for the Italian pair that they face this evening. The game is going to be played here very late at night, around about midnight local time. And Allyson Cerutti and Bruno Schmidt, known as the Magician and the Mammoth. I mean, Bruno is huge. He's the kind of guy who should be a bouncer at a New York nightclub. If he was walking along this beach and you had your T-shirt off and you were lounging around there, you'd put your T-shirt back on. he would make you feel very small and insignificant indeed. They're the hot favourites, but remember this, the women lost last night. They're not invincible.
OK, Chris Mitchell, thank you very much for joining us there from Rio. Now, Chris mentioned the control